problems. It's not just a striker. We don't have a backup right winger, and we don't have a creative attacking midfielder. If Odegaard is not performing, we have nothing. We cannot create chances. All we do is go, to our left winger, right winger, cross the ball to nobody in the box, and we repeat that. And that's why we struggle to create chances against big teams like PSG, and they outmuscled us. Is because we can't create as much as them, and we're not clinical. Simple.
Fair. I'm liking the rebuttal. Like, do you not feel it's just a case of signings, or do you feel like it's more than just that? And what I mean by that is, let's just assume we've got Gyökeres, Nico Williams, whatever have you. Is everything happy as Larry, or for you lot, is there stuff for all three of you? Actually, is there stuff Mikel Arteta's got to do?
There's stuff Mikel Arteta's got to do. There's stuff everyone's got to do. No one's doing anything, DG. That's the problem. But calm down. It's only the 13th of June. Don't worry, though. It's not the 13th of June for Liverpool who's making 5 signings. Not the 13th of June for Man City who's making 4 or 5 signings. What about Manchester United? Not the 13th of June for them. But we've been told to calm down because we're impatient. Bro, our club's a fucking mess, mate. It's an absolute shambles. Why on the 13th of June have we got Kariba Azabalaga, whatever the hell his name is? Who knows? Who cares?
Why not?
Innit? Who knows? Who cares?
That's a great piece of business. That's a great piece of business.
I'm done with the Chelsea reject. So why does no one learn? The last 7 we've signed have been absolute trash.
Yeah, I hear that.
But this one will be different. When I make a point, although it may sound as unfair, I've usually got history to back me. And whilst we can't use all the other players' history as a reference for how Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to do at Arsenal Football Club, I'm just sick and tired of us signing Chelsea rejects, to be fair. But look, it's only 5 million quid. Whatever, I'm done with that. It is what it is. I'm more concerned with why Arsenal are pissing around with Sesko. What's the deal with that? It's been 5 years. Hold on 1 second, mate. It's 5 years. 5 years down the line, yeah? 5 years we've waited for a striker. And you're telling me that Sesko's the striker we've waited for? What the hell are we doing here at this football?
We'll get on to Sesko, man. Eric, cool off, man. We'll get on to Sesko.
I'm not cooling off, brother. But listen, mate, I'm not a happy bunny, as you could probably tell.
Trust me, no, trust me. We're going to speak about Sesko in that, but go on.
I don't know what we're doing in terms of signings anyway. I don't know where the standards of this football club have gone, man. There's a difference between why other people are wearing this season's kits and I'm wearing a 2002 with Patrick Vieira on the back with champions on my wrist. That's because that's what standards I hold. I have these standards. Premier League champions 0102 with Paddy on the back. That's the standards I hold. We are a million miles away from them standards, bruv. Light years. And if anyone seems to think that we're closed, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You don't win a trophy. It's not the Olympics, DG. It's not the Olympics. You don't get anything for finishing second. You get nada. And for those that go, but we competed for the title and was only 5 points behind, and then we was only 2 points behind. Yeah, now we were 10 points behind. So we're getting worse. So we are getting okay. That's why we have regressed.
I agree with that. But are we really a million miles away, Aaron?
We got 2 quarter-final trophies though. Don't get semi-finals.
Don't forget beating City as well.
Yeah. And the XG trophy against PSG. Don't forget about that. We got the XG trophy. That's 3 of them. So how many trophies do we have this year? About 7 or 8? I don't know. We had a successful season this year apparently. But what we did do this season is we found our level, and it ain't a semi-final of a competition. Why? Because we got humiliated 2-0 at home against Newcastle. We got humiliated 2-0 away against Newcastle. So semi-final of that competition weren't our level. Even though we qualified for it, we was embarrassed in every single leg of that.
Not be our level.
We weren't at the level because we were taking the piss out of. We were taking the piss out of. We played 4 semi-final games and we lost 4. We lost 4 in the Champions League. I was at the Emirates. In my season ticket, I was sat there, North Bank, like that, and after 3 minutes, the Champions League semi-final was done. Bye, see you, ta-la, bon voyage, sayonara, fuck off. Next season, Arsenal, don't worry about it. We'll just pay 1,500 quid next year, and we'll just all pretend that everything's okay again, shall we? That's what we do as a fan base, isn't it? We've got a major hole over there. Oh, well, plaster will do it. Don't worry about it. We got heart surgery, but just put a little plaster over it. It'll be fine. A bit of gaffer tape. Don't worry. That'll hold it all together. Don't worry. What are we doing here? Come on, man. We were humiliated in all 4 games. We lost all 4 legs. We're not close. We lost for the 3rd round. The only time we've got on the 4th round of the FA Cup when we played Oxford and Crystal Palace. We played Manchester United at home and lost against. We're further away than we have been for the last few years. I'll tell you that. We're so far away, bruv. We're so far away. And everyone thinks we're close.
I hear you. I agree.
Guess what? We're having a summer. Yeah, we're having a summer. We're like, oh, we need a striker and we need a winger. We were saying the same thing last summer. What did we go and do?
What's the timeline?
What's the timeline? 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Salah, manager, you're shit. You can't win anything. He's entered 19 competitions since winning the FA Cup, and how many has he won? None. He's failed in all 19 of them. All 19 of them. How long does it take to win a Premier League? Every single manager, I've gone through this with you before, bruv. Every single manager since the Premier League's inception, every single one of them, it takes 2.1 years to win the Premier League title. Why are we waiting 5.5 years for Mikel Arteta to not win it? Ridiculous.
Manager after
absolutely ridiculous.
But then how far are we
Alex Ferguson won it in his 6th season, but he also won the League Cup, the FA Cup, and 2 European trophies in between. And he also won it with We also won the Scottish stuff with Kilmarnock. Not Kilmarnock, I think it might be St Mirren. Either way, he done it with Aberdeen. We're talking about a whole different plethora of trophies and manager in terms of quality with Alex Ferguson. So let's not compare this geezer. We are crap. We're miles away. I can't tell you. I ain't got a crystal ball. Nostradamus or my uncle. Do you know what I mean? I don't really know
what you know. So let's say from this point,
what I do know is 5 years and this manager don't win nothing, and he's getting further away from it. We've finished.
No, but for you, from this point today,
what do we go and do? We sign Calafiori. Do we need a striker? I'll tell you what we go and do. We'll sign Mikel Marino. He done really well as an emergency striker. He done so well as an emergency striker. Maybe he'll be one of the options.
From this point, if we in your head, we got rid of the gap.
How far we are away is irrelevant because under this manager, we will not win big things. It's irrelevant. I'm telling you my answer. I'm telling you my answer. It's null and void because under this manager, we won't win anything. You're telling me the last summer was the most pivotal manager, the most pivotal summer window that we've had. We thought, we finished 2 points behind Manchester City. We're getting there. We're getting close. We're nearly there. Woohoo, rah, rah. Hey, let's all get our willies out and go wang, wang. Guess what happened? Oh, yeah, we signed Mikel Marino. Guess what happened? We signed Calafiori. And now what do we need? We need exactly the same this summer as we did last summer. It's a shit show. It's embarrassing. It's pointless. We might as well have just Control Alt and deleted the whole entire year. It's a waste of my time. Waste thousands of pounds following this club away and in Europe. We're getting further away. We've finished 22 goals we scored less in the league than we did last season. 14 draws, which was 2 more than we did in the last 2 seasons.
And let's not even talk about the losses from
further away. We're getting further away. Goal difference is worse. 15 points less than we did last season in terms of that. We're getting far away.
That's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask you, Aaron. Right? It's like in terms of the injuries that we had this season, do you think it played a factor, or do you still think that with the injuries that we had, that we still should have won the league?
Mikel Arteta caused most of the injuries.
Fair.
Mikel Arteta caused, and I'll tell you why he caused most of the injuries, because it's all about squad building and squad rotating, right? So we all knew that he needed to sign at least one striker and one winger. Yeah, we needed 2, so we didn't sign any. So we were 2 behind from the moment we started. Then, whether you like it or not, he also let out whether you agree with the signings or not. ESR, Nelson, Vieira, and Eddie Nketiah. Whether you like them or not is irrelevant. They all went. So that means we were 6 minus. He bought Raheem Sterling, but he refused to play Raheem Sterling. And when we were drawing and winning in most games, and brought on defenders. So that's also an irrelevant. So we're 6 behind. So guess what happens? Okay, so we've got a small forward line of about 5 players, yeah? Martinelli goes injured. So what's the most common injury and theme, a reoccurring way you get hamstring injury? Oh, yes, being overplayed. So now you get Martinelli gone. So that's 4. So then that means you have to overplay these geezers. Guess what happens then? Oh, yeah, Havertz gets injured. Guess what happens then when you have to overplay all these 3? Oh, yeah, Saka gets injured. And then we're all wondering why. That we're getting the same recurring injury. It's not conspiracy. It's not rocket science. He's overplaying the geezers. But guess what happens? He's not rotating them or adequately at all. He doesn't rotate players. We were 7-1 up in the first leg of the Champions League, and he started the first team again against PSV. Yeah. That's an absolute fact. Even at 9-3 up at half-time, he still kept Gabriel Magalhaes out there. Oh, guess what happens 10 days later? Magalhaes gets an injury. Why didn't he rotate him out? Why did he start him? Why did he play him for 90 minutes? This manager kills players with poor lack of squad rotation and squad building. If we had 4 other players in there, we'd have been able to cope with them injuries. Maybe we'd have got 1 or 2 less. If he actually in-game managed them a lot better, maybe rotate them a little bit better, we probably would have had less injuries. Either, it don't make no difference. He has helped regardless of whether he's 100% at fault, is irrelevant. He has contributed 150% to the fact that this Arsenal Football Club have got a lot of injuries. Why are they all the same injuries? Why are they? Why are they all the same injuries?
Where do you stand on that comment?
Contributing to it.
See, I'll ask this, right? I completely agree with what you just said there, right? But I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate right now.
Yeah, you go.
Right?
Listen, you free, do your thing.
Is that Tottenham, obviously, shocker of a season, right? Despite them winning the Europa League, well done to them, but shocker of a season due to the same factor of injuries, right? The fact that we had so many injuries that you just named there, due to Arteta not rotating the squad, so on and so forth, don't you think we actually did quite well finishing second with those injuries, with not getting a striker, with our squad building not being as in depth that we want it to be?
I would rather not look at what we did and what we didn't. Well, like what we did, well done. We didn't win anything. What we didn't do is my pressing concern as to why we didn't win something, not what we achieved, what we did, which was we achieved nothing, by the way.
But if you can't,
so we finished second. Who cares? What's the difference between second and fifth? About £4 million. No one cares. What's the difference between finishing in the semi-final and in the quarter-final or whatever? No one cares. No one cares. Who was in the semi-final of the Champions League 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? No one gives a toss, mate. No one does. No one does. Everyone only cares about the winner. So we didn't do anything. So what I look at is, why didn't we win? Why didn't we win? What didn't we do to win? We had a poor, pathetic, embarrassing, shambolic of a transfer window. That's exactly what we've done. And we've got an absolute poor, pathetic, useless manager spearheading the whole thing. It's a shambles. And we brought Berta in. What's Berta doing? Oh, we're going to
get on to Berta.
We'll just give Arteta his signings anyway. What's the point in him then? He's got his feet up. What job it is for Berta? Oh, yeah, well, Sesko, that's been in the line for about a year. So is Zubimendi. Why none of them done yet? Why are other clubs confirming brand new mega money signings when we've apparently had these in the wings for about the last year and we still can't get them over the line? What's Berta done then? What's he changed?
Well, Zubimendi's already done.
Just let Arteta have his way.
Zubimendi's already done, firstly, and secondly, like within 13 days, you can't expect that. I hear you, by the way, and I've had that feeling that you're talking about beyond Andrea Berta. I mean, Arsenal's never been that team, right? When I see other teams announce on their club,
neither is Liverpool, and they've got Wirtz done for 120 million.
No, I know, but there's
different things
that you're talking about, right? There's things where clubs are actually announcing even before a transfer window is open, and I'm like, why doesn't Arsenal do that? So yes, you're right, we don't do that, and also you're right, like the window's been open and other teams have signed other players where we have been linked with all these players for so long and we haven't got, like, you expect that they were already going to be through the door. Unfortunately, that's not how transfers work, right? Like, it takes time. There has to be negotiations. I hear what you're saying, though. We've done all the pre-work, so it is frustrating, but that's also not how business works. It's not like within a click of the finger, right?
But why does it work that way for everyone else? Why is it working that way for Liverpool? Why is it working that way for Man City? But you're taking the point of it. You're taking the point of it doesn't work that way for Arsenal, but everyone else is doing it. So you can't use that and that's not how transfer works. Maybe that's just not how it works at Arsenal, and that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Maybe if it doesn't just work like that at Arsenal, then there is a problem at Arsenal. No,
not necessarily. Again, I think it's very
well. Other clubs are getting the better of us. Why are Liverpool able to get Wirtz? Why are Manchester City able to get Reinders and Cherky over the line then?
Because they're easier deals.
But that's not how transfers are done.
Man.
Brand new. They're brand
South African Gooner, do you think fans are panicking?
Yeah, I think he's overreacting, to be honest.
I'm not overreacting.
Not necessarily Aaron, just because he's sharing the sentiment with everyone.
I think the stuff on the Andrea Berta and not like if fans are crying about not signing someone already, like honestly, like you haven't been through enough Arsenal windows to you, like your expectations are just out there, bro. Like, come on. We know we don't sign anyone.
I'm frustrated. I'm Bill Murray, bruv. I'm like Bill Murray.
And that's why I said I hear what you're saying.
Babe. Groundhog season again.
You want to see the club sign players earlier, which I agree, and I can't disagree with. But my expectation wasn't for us to have already signed players already, man. Like and talking shit about Andrea Berta in like 2 weeks already is like it's just over the top for me. I mean,
why can I not criticize him though? He's an employee of Arsenal Football Club.
You can criticize him, but I think it's not very intelligent to be criticizing someone in their role for freaking 2 weeks, man. Like I wouldn't be criticizing you in a new role for 2 weeks. That expectation is a bit harsh in my opinion.
He does come in with a good reputation.
He's not a freshman. He's not a freshman, brother. He's a 50, 60-year-old man with
I
experience.
know.
But he don't need his handheld, does he?
Bro,
he don't need his handheld. Here's the football club. Here's the dog. Here's the dog. Here's the toilet there, Berta, in case you need to do poo-poo.
How actual organizations work. Like, this is an actual business and an entity. Not just because you want stuff to be done tomorrow doesn't mean that that's how it works. And just because that's how it is in your mind.
It just works for everyone else, though, and not for us.
But again, I'm using that as an example, and I've given you your props. I agree with you. I've had that frustration as well. But again, like, we're not the only club that hasn't done anything. And yes, of course, I want my club to have done things. But I also know that the deals that we're trying to do are much more complicated than someone like Shirky, who was trying to get out of there since January, which the club are trying to just get rid of blatantly. And Cunha as well. Like, all these deals are not, they're much simpler than the ones we're doing. Like Nico Williams, like Gyökeres. Okay, I agree on the Sesko one. It should be easier.
We've had a year head start, though.
I know, but it's only June 17th, bro.
We need to. That's what I'm under.
June 17th for everyone else.
Listen, Aaron, I completely agree with you, mate. Right, like, in terms of frustration, in terms of I want things done now, right? In terms of how we ended the season, right? In terms of from being in winning positions and then losing or drawing. Right, I'm with you, but I think we need to calm down. There's a lot of complex deals where clubs like RB Leipzig, and you're seeing it with Sporting Lisbon, they're driving up the price. Right, Viktor Gyökeres was supposed to have a gentleman's agreement with the player, and then all of a sudden that went completely tits up. Right, so they're clearly playing a bit of politics in these transfer windows. So I think personally, I agree with you. I'm frustrated. I'm sure every other Arsenal fan is frustrated, but I want us to just calm down a little bit. Like my bro said there, 2 weeks in a job, you still need to get yourself sort of accustomed to the surroundings, to the environment. How does the club operate? Okay, cool. One of the first things that I can say, I don't know if you guys agree. I know Aaron already spoke about it already, but I believe we made a good decision in not signing Joan Garcia for 25 million. And potentially keeping that 25 million and spending it on the attacking force that we need, right? Because I'm under the impression that people keep talking about we need just a number 9. We don't just need a number 9. We need a number 9. We need a winger, preferably a winger that can play on both sides.
We need another Cam.
We need another Cam.
Yeah,
we ain't getting no Cam though, man.
We're not.
Do you know what? The reason why I believe that we might. Right, is because you're starting to see us getting links with the likes of Morgan Rogers. I know it's a little bit far-fetched right now, but you're starting to see that the type of players that we're getting linked with. Kudus, he's another one that can play in that position. They're very, very.
Then why don't we go for Turkey? Right, that's my thing. I hear you, by the way. And I think we're gonna leave it till next summer. But then again,
he doesn't want to upgrade on other guys.
I'm like,
probably someone that can fill in.
Right
there, probably have one.
I personally think, as much as people think that Nwaneri is going to be Saka's backup, I think he's actually Odegaard's backup.
Interesting. Well, what about Dauman then? That's what I was thinking. But then Dauman is going to be.
He's too young. He's too young. He won't be able to play.
He'll be involved, but just cool, man.
Odegaard's not going to get dropped much, right? He's going to play all the games. So
he's the most sub-captain and most subbed Arsenal player in the last 3 years, Martin Odegaard.
In the second half, but he's not going to get subbed for another attacking mid.
But when he gets subbed, he doesn't. Arteta don't even bring on Nwaneri anyway. We've seen that all last year.
But apparently, when do you remember when Nwaneri actually started playing the games and when?
He just needs to get.
He was complaining that he was literally complaining that the games were too much in terms of the.
But where did we hear that? Because I heard that too, but I don't know how much I don't know if that was just made up and then excuses.
Do you know what? I'll say this. I'll say this, right? Is that every single player in history that you start them too young and they play so many matches, they end up getting really, really injured in their 20s. Yeah. This is why I'm scared about Lamine Yamal, for example. Like the amount of games, the amount of minutes that this guy's playing at 16, 17 years old, your body's still growing. Absolutely. So I think the same for Nwaneri. Yeah. The fact that Skulls
literally is, he's 18.
Yeah. The fact that Skelly's doing it, he's a genetic freak because you're not used to seeing that.
Look at Wilshere, bro. Wenger done it to Wilshere, man.
Yeah,
that's a great example. He was finished in the 20s.
Great example.
He should have had that.
Can we go back to that previous comment? And that's what we were talking about.
Which one?
The one before this one.
Was it this?
Yeah, the fear is there. This is what we're talking about. I hear this, and we've experienced this, and this is why he's frustrated because we have this fear that we're going to get Sterling again, and we're going to get another Chelsea reject. Like all these fears are normal, but I think it's just too early. Like if we were like the mid of July and then we were having this conversation right now, I'd be freaking out. I'd be pissed.
The problem is though, is the 13th very quickly becomes the 20th.
I know.
Becomes the 27th.
But
mid-July very quickly, bro.
Listen, I know. Like you're probably speaking from history, right? Things have happened, right? But again, I think that, do you know why I'm at peace now is because there's two things now. I'm still Arteta in, right? So if it gets to the point where July, we're not signing anyone, it gets to the end of the season, we're making these rash signings, then the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, you don't even give him the season to start. You don't even give him the season to start, bro.
Nah, they'll give him the season to start.
I know they will, but we shouldn't.
He's on 50 more years.
But they'll probably give him to like maybe before
Christmas. Who suffers, bro?
I don't even think that.
Who suffers, bro? We suffer. We suffer. Do you know what? One of the most painful thing I had to do for the eighth, ninth, I think, time in a row, I had to give Arsenal Football Club 1,500 quid for my season ticket, and I already knew what they were doing. Why do I have to do that? That's a painful transaction for me.
Do you know?
I'm not going to lie. That's a lot of money. I've got two young kids, bruv. I sacrifice thousands of pounds every year, and I also sacrifice a lot of time spent with my family and my two young kids.
And more than anything, emotionally.
Emotions and time and energy. You could be doing something else.
I've been here, done this. I've got the T-shirt. I've listened to this record. I've read this book. This DVD's got so many scratches that don't even play anymore. Do you know what I mean? I've been here, bruv. Come on, man. So have you as well.
I'll say this. Yeah. I'll say this, right? Before, I didn't want to get an Arsenal season ticket before Arteta. I didn't want to go to those matches getting pumped 6-0 because I was there. I was there getting pumped 6-0. I was there where we were getting taken the piss out of, right? I was there when the Emirates wasn't even a fortress, right? Poor, absolutely poor, getting spanked for the first time in over. I know people want to compare 16-17 where we come second to Leicester. I don't even say that because we were 10 points behind Leicester City.
And we didn't beat the big teams.
And we didn't beat the big teams, right? Yeah. And this is the first time in over 20 plus years I could look at my club and be like, oh, okay, cool. Do you know what? We're actually in the contention of winning trophies. I actually wanted to spend that 1,700 on the season ticket for the last 3-4 seasons. You know, so I get the frustrations. But we've come a long way.
And we're talking about urgency in this comment, and it's funny because we've signed 2 players for 2 positions technically, and I know it's not the 2 positions we should have signed.
Is it technically though? Because to us fans, we ain't seen no shirt.
But we know that the Emirates. We know that Zubimendi is done, and we know that Kepa is pretty much just when we want to pull the plug. And also, people don't understand, and something we haven't talked about is that July is the reset of the financial year. So also we're just talking here like this, but like there's accounting and there's different things. Again, I told you organizations work very differently than what we fans want. And by the way, I'm a fan like you, so I also I'm not patient. I also want it like you, but I also try to like take a step back and remind myself that like. At the end of the day, it's a business, it's an organization, there's steps, there's strategy, there's many people involved, and we've said that we're not going to sign anyone until July so we can put it into next year's books so that we can spend more. And everyone forgets.
So at what point do you panic then?
We haven't signed anyone. It's June, bro. Like the club is showing.
So what point do you lot panic then? Because I can understand what you lot are saying is facts, be patient, all of that stuff. But there are fans that might feel like you lot and like, yeah, I'll be patient. But then you just have to go back 12 months. You still will be done on deadline day. So at what point are you like, oh, we need to get a move on?
By the end of June.
June the 26th?
If we haven't started making bids, then
I agree.
June, we gotta start putting the
because Arteta was very bullish about this transfer window. Berta's come in and helped the optimism. We have to deliver this summer. Realistically, we should have done this last year, but we're at where we're at. This summer can't go wrong.
So you're saying 2 weeks, yeah? I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
I believe
2 weeks then, yeah. End of June. I'm going to hold you to that.
End of June, Aaron. End of June, my bro. Yeah. If we're not seeing any more bids, because I don't know if the bid for Gyökeres is actually a real bid or maybe like a indirecting bid. An indirecting bid. Right?
I'm sorry, on that one, apparently it's not even an indirect bid because Charles Watts was saying that if it was an indirect bid, then people in Arsenal would be able to confirm, people on our side would be able to confirm that this has happened, but because we can't, it means it's from his camp or it means it's from Portugal.
Okay.
We better not be moving no goalposts though. That's what I'm saying. No goalposts. There's no new excuses in 2 weeks time. Friday the 27th, I'm going to go 2 weeks time.
Not the 27th. Not the 27th.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Aaron, on Friday the 27th.
Oh, was it the 28th or the 31st? Oh, yeah. Or the 2nd. You know, it's only a couple of days.
Start moving them goalposts. We're under the same consensus.
It's not about the specific date. It's about the intention. Like we already
end of June.
We should already see the bid for Sesko, even if it's rejected. Like we need to see the bid. If I see the bid, then I'm like, okay,
I'm past the bids. I just want to see players.
I'm sick. You know, I'm sick of because you know it's been the last 2 months.
Oh, it's drama. I think it's drama.
It's been the last 2 months that Sesko, that representative are in for another talks. Representative in for another talks. I'm tired of seeing bids.
I thought Bert was coming in to speed this process up, though. Why is it not spit out?
We haven't even bid yet. And
exactly, why have we not bid yet? Why have we not bid yet?
You know why
Bert was coming to speed this up.
I'll explain to you why we haven't bid. We haven't bid because we had an agreement with them in January that we would come back this summer. So
why not already done then?
Because the price has changed.
It's changed. Yeah, the price has changed.
So do you not think if Arsenal Football Club had a clue what they were doing, they'd have signed him last summer and then loaned him back out?
I didn't
think if Arsenal Football Club knew what they do.
I wasn't able to finish what I was trying to explain to you of the reason that you're asking for, which is why we haven't signed him, which is that he has a variable release clause, which has changed, and we are negotiating that. And also because of what's happening in the market, not only with Gyökeres and Wirtz, other teams are now starting to see that they can get more money based on what has already just happened. So now clubs are second guessing themselves in their original prices and saying, hey, there's no actual contract that says we need to do these things. We have these agreements, but actually we want this much. So they wanted 70 million. Now they want 75 million. And Arsenal negotiating with both players, which we haven't done before, by the way, with Edu, with anyone. We never do a strategy like this where we're negotiating for two players and we're basically like, yo, if you don't shape up, we'll go get the other guy, right? That is great strategy for me, in my opinion, and that's why we haven't
great strategy.
No, do you know?
Yeah,
you
you've already said that. But you already said negotiating deals beforehand. There's so much scope for moving the goalpost in terms of negotiation, transfer things. What's the point then? Why would you just even not negotiate? So we basically, you're saying we've just wasted all of our time.
The point is, Aaron,
we've just wasted our time on all these.
You have to keep relationships with clubs because when it comes down to it, and they have to choose which club. If several clubs can offer the same amount of money in different payment structures, they will have a relationship with us, and we're hoping because we kept this good relationship with them, they're going to favor us when it comes down to it, and when it comes down to the wire, and everyone's willing to pay the same amount, we will be chosen because of the way we've acted, because of the way we've moved. That is how I see it. It might not be the way it is, but that's why I say it's a strategy.
Is that the best way for you, though? Because I hear what you're saying, gentlemen's and stuff, but at the end of the day, this is business. You put down the money, you can get whatever. If the player makes it clear, I want to sign for Arsenal. That's all.
But DG, we're also going to be very smart in our first bid. We're not going to put a first bid that we think is going to be accepted. Like, we're always cheap. We know how we are. We're going to try little.
No, that's business. You try and get it for less. That's cool. But I'm more asking about the relationship thing.
We've had 8 months. What we're negotiating by a carrier pigeon. So like, what we're doing here? Well, hold on. We'll type a little scrolling. We're going to send you 40 million for Sesko. Hopefully it comes back in 2027 or 28 or something.
That's
like that.
not how it works.
Again,
you're going to negotiate based on how you're going to pay the structure. It's not negotiations that happen every single day. You see it in the media every day. So
how about in a transfer window? We don't do nothing, bro.
What we need to remember as well is that a striker is not the only player that we're going for, right? We're linked with Rodrigo. We're linked with Rodrigo for like 90 million. And I think people need to remember as well is that, first of all, this is not FIFA or FM, right? Yeah. In order for you to get players, there's the 70 million that you're paying. It's just the scratch of it. You need to pay agent fees. You need to pay signing on fees. You need to pay clauses. Those need to be negotiated as well, right? So
Bert's in now, though.
Okay, but like my bro said there before, is that last season we were going for Sesko. Didn't get Sesko. Yeah, he chose to stay. And we had nobody else. And we had nobody else, right? So now Bert is coming and be like, right, cool. The first thing, we're not going to spend 25 million on a goalkeeper. We're going to spend 5 million, right? That's the first thing. Second, Sesko, it's been historically proven that these guys like to play hardball. This is their generational talent that they think, right? So they want to make sure that they're getting the right price for it. But we also know, hey, these guys might flop us this season. Let's try and make sure that we're still talking to Gyökeres, building that bond, building that relationship, right? We don't need to be a case where Sesko flops. Now we're starting talking to Gyökeres, but there's other teams that's been talking to Gyökeres. And that relationship, when it comes in, we're gone. We're banged for rights, right? Yeah. So we need to remember, as we just said there, we've got 4 or 5 players that we want to try to get there. If I go around the panel and ask you, how many players do you think we need? I say maybe
10.
3. I don't know about that. I say 3 to 5.
Right, Aaron, come on.
Goalkeeper, left back, right-sided centre back,
goalkeeper.
We need another keeper. Yeah, so let's just say we got Kepa. Yeah, let's just say we got Kepa. Either way, we need a sort of window. Goalkeeper, left back, right-sided centre back.
Why another left back?
Why another left back?
Aaron, just say it first.
Because we've let the best left back at the club go for free. Zinchenko's going. Calafiori defends like Andre Santos. He's pathetic. And now we've got also.
Come
on.
We do need a left back.
Have you ever seen a man being beat one-on-one like Calafiori? He can't defend for love nor money. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Well, like the very fact that Arsenal and Arteta came to this club and they spent about 200 million trying to resolve the left back and the goalkeeping department, and they had the best two there when they started.
Which is why I'm telling you we're not signing another left back.
Yeah, no, but that's irrelevant whether we are or not. It's the fact that we need one. Whether you think we will, whether we think we will or not, it's irrelevant. We need a left back. We also need a goalkeeper. We need a right side back.
Let him say his list first.
We also need a central defensive mid. We need another midfielder because Jorginho and/or Partey's gone. Yeah, there's 5. We need a backup right midfielder. We need a left midfielder. That's just facts. That's 7. We also need a cam. You've said it on stream. That's 8. Yeah. We also need about 2 strikers because the 2 that we've got is absolutely shit. They're absolutely crap. If you think Mikel Merino is going to be back up to Kai Havertz, who's absolutely shambolic, and Gabriel Jesus, you've got another thing coming, brother. We're not winning anything with that. Why? Because we ain't won anything with them.
I can see why this guy's so upset when he thinks we're going to sign 10 players. Of course.
No. Did I ever say that? I think we are going to sign. No. If you're going to quote me properly, my friend. I said we need 10 players. We need 10 players.
Okay,
I didn't say. Yeah. Well, it's not my expectations. It's we need 10 players.
No,
we also need to sell about 5 players.
You want 10 players. You want 10 players. We don't need
Football Club need 10. Of course we do.
No, we do. You're telling me. You want 10 players.
Well, we do. Why 2-3 years ago when Bill Saliba got injured and we lost the league, and coincided with our poor form, why have we not signed the right side of centre back? I bet you two are going to go, but Ben White's versatile, but you never flip the coin, do any of you?
No, we do need a centre back. We've been linked with Victor Rice, Howson, and
but we haven't got one. It's irrelevant when we've been linked with them. We haven't signed one. That's the main thing. That was 2-3 seasons ago. Why have we not signed one? Oh, because I got Ben White. He's versatile. But the problem is when you're versatile man, flip the script. When he covers positions and he's injured, guess what? 2 positions ain't accounted for. Everyone forgets the other side of the coin, don't they? Everyone does. Why have we not signed that? Because either Arteta doesn't learn or it takes too long to learn.
Yeah, I think
why have we still got no right side of centre back?
Cool. Aaron said 10. Where are you lot at with the numbers?
No, so firstly on the stuff about Aaron, about what he's saying about the centre back, I totally hear you. By the way, I think we lost the league because we had Holding, and I do blame Arteta because I don't think it's that we don't have the players. It's like, what you're saying is true, but sometimes that's not how the actual stuff works. Like, we can't just get rid of a player just because he's in our play. You can't just throw him out, right? So sometimes we make decisions because of bad decisions we've made, and like we know we have Holding, we know we have, you know what I mean, and then we don't buy that upgrade, and then Saliba gets injured, and then we're forced to play this guy, and Arteta trusts him, and I can't argue with that. I totally agree with you. That is mistakes that we've made, and we suffer for it. But for me, I mean, I only see a backup goalkeeper. I only see a backup winger. I see a striker, which is 3. I see Zubamendi, which is 4. And then the 5th player for me has to be the cam, right? It has to be an attacking player, but it could be another left back, as you said. I don't think so because we have, in my opinion, we have MLS, we have Calafiori, we have Timber.
There's no way you think we've got enough defensive depth.
Sorry, we do. We have. We're only going to get 1 defender.
You're going to learn the hard way.
You can't have Tomiyasu in there. Tomiyasu.
But he's still at the club.
Hold on, where is Tomiyasu?
My point is that while he's
I agree with you in terms of the numbers. Aaron's fine.
Where are you,
I agree with the numbers, but we definitely need a defender.
You're not going to go get a 5th guy.
Where are you, Tommy? You under the mic? Tomiyasu. Where are you?
Tommy, I need you fit. No, but when you break it down, Calafiori picks up knocks, Tommy picks up knocks, Zinni's gone anyways. Calafiori, he's missed 100 days. We probably need another defender, and we're linked with a lot.
Then you got to sell another one because we can't bring a center back and a left back when you have so many defenders.
I think ideally you want a Timber Tomiyasu kind of versatile type, but I think there's scope for both of them. But our priorities for me is up front. Well, they're all priorities. Yeah. I think we need to get it all done, but I think everyone here, we will all probably disagree. Everybody wants a 9 in it. Probably everyone wants a left wing. Everyone probably wants central midfield addressed. I personally, Kepa, it is what it is. Probably need a defender or defenders. But generally, for me, probably, if it was up to me, I think we need a lot more. But I'd say anything from 4 to 6. If we're serious about getting over the line in the Premier League, I think we need 4 to 6. I think we need 3 level raisers immediately into that starting 11. And then the rest is about depth. Whether we're going to do this, I don't know.
See,
that's another thing that we're talking about, just putting the money. You know, when you put the money, it also increases and it has a rolling effect on other transfers that you have because people see that you have money, right? So I think that's small. There's so many small things that we're not like, you know, we don't put all of it together. We just think isolation, like, oh, where's the striker? Where is he? It's June 13th. Where's my striker?
I hear you, but the club have left themselves no ground. They have to do all of this.
Yeah,
like,
they have to
address all these areas.
Part of me as a fan is like, why get upset? Why, like, Arteta is he's digging his own grave. This is it now. There's no more excuses. No, oh, it's the board. This is it. Whoever he gets, that's why I don't get upset. You want Sesko? Okay, I see the potential, but if you're gonna die on the hill, whatever hill you're gonna die on this hill. I know I've said this, but you don't know me.
Like
you and I have just met now, so I'm very balanced. I'm gonna say how it is. Yes, this is Arteta's last season. Yes. Whoever he signs, there's no excuses. He has to win with these players, and it has to be the Premier League or the Champions League. League Cup, FA Cup is not good enough this season.
No, you go, mate.
So like, I want to jump in on the point you've quite rightly made as well. It's about him dying on the hill and things like that. One, as a very small point I want to interject in is, so we're just expected to waste another year. That's very frustrating. But two, it's worrying that this season, just like last summer, I'll actually agree with you on the point. We see 2 seasons ago, we signed Declan Rice for 105 million, Kai Havertz and Yuri Timber, and it crippled us in this market. Yeah. So the point I'm going to make is
Arsenal crippled
we had to make a £10 million profit this summer, didn't we? We only signed Calafiori and Marino. Well, it kind of did if we made a profit. Like I don't
know if we chose to or we had to. It's very different.
I do think there was a remit by the Cronkies to get some money coming in, if I'm honest, because of the spending. I do agree with that. That's why I think it was more important.
Let's just take but we made money though. We could have spent a lot more money, is my point. Let's just say we do that again this summer, and you're like, oh yeah, well either way we live and die by the sword. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we signed Sesko, 70-80 million. Transfer fees near on irrelevant to my point.
Yeah.
So he comes through the door. We get a winger through, whoever that may be, whether it be a Rodrigo, whether it be Williams. Let's just say it's 60 million.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's just say it's a Williams. I don't want him. Let's just say we get Williams. Next summer, what do you reckon that's going to do? Do you reckon that if this Sesko doesn't work, and this is why it's critical that we get our transfers right, and we don't know whether he's going to bang or not. We all actually don't, but we've got statistical likeliness. We don't know who will be better, but I would rather the geezer that got 89 league goals over the geezer that got 43 league goals in the last 3 seasons. That's even here or there to my point either. Just very quickly.
Whole other conversation.
That's why I said that's talking about Gyökeres and Sesko. Just let him finish.
So the point I'm trying to make is, so it's all well and good. What's going to happen next year then? Let's just say Sesko doesn't work out, and we let this manager, who's got a really poor track record in transfer windows, by the way, last 5 years, most of them have been crap signings. He's signed 27 permanent players, and I could probably name you about 5 I'd keep. I'll probably name you about 5 I'd keep. There you go. So I mean, we're not looking at that means about 1 in 6 he gets right. So if we need 6 signings this summer, well, maybe only 1 will get right. So what happens next summer?
Dude.
Of all the 27, who's the ones you'd keep? Timber, Gabriel, Thomas Partey,
Saka.
He didn't sign Saliba. He didn't sign Saliba.
He signed.
Exactly right. David Raya. We've got anyone else? Ben White. There we go. There's 5. Now, have you noticed everyone's scratching?
Odegaard, to be fair.
Everyone's scratching. Odegaard's crap, mate. He
can be crap, man. If you think he's regressed every single season, either way, he can definitely be a squad player. There's so much money.
Has he or has he not regressed every single season? So
say that again.
He's got worse every single season. 2 seasons ago, he scored 15 goals, and he got 11 and 10 assists. And he looked rather crap. This season is absolutely shambles. He's fell off of a cliff and into an infinite mountain. Absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. There's been about 5. Let's just give you Odegaard then and say 6. 6 and 27. Well done. We can name 6 and 27. Well done, everyone. 6 and 27. That's poor statistics. What I'm trying to say is next summer, if this new manager comes in and then he goes, oh shit, all right, well, I've got all these players. So we've got Kai Havertz on 280k a week with 2 years left on his deal. Anyone going to be paying 65 million for us, bailing him out? Oh no, he's on 280k a week. What about Jesus? 265k a week. What about Odegaard? 240k a week. What we're doing in Martinelli, who's also regressed the last 2 years, 180k a week. We've got Mikel Marino on 130k a week. Zinchenko's on 150k a week. He stopped playing Zinchenko for the last 2 years. Why is he still here? Oh, yeah, because no one wants to pay 150k a week for his wages. It's not difficult. And we had this in 2019.
It hasn't been 2 years.
Kolasinac, Bellerin, Socrates, Mustafi. 2 years for who?
It hasn't been 2 years. Him on that one.
Who?
Zinchenko one.
Zinchenko hasn't been 2 years.
It is. He hasn't been
potato, really, isn't it? 18 months, 2 years. Either way, he's been ostracised out the club for a very long time. But no one wants to pay his wages. Why didn't he go to Borussia Dortmund last year? Oh, yeah, because they don't want to pay 150 for his wages.
And we're hearing that again now.
We're making because we can't negotiate deals. We're crap.
I want to say this.
But Berta's here now.
Although Zinchenko is obviously, not the best right now, right? But when he first came, he did change our squad, no? Gabriel Jesus